So, welcome back to our second unboxing video, and firstly I'd like to say thank you very much. Our first unboxing video is actually done. You know, we've had over 1,000 views, which is actually pretty mad. I had, you know, in my head I was pretty happy, just going to be pretty happy with 500, but we've absolutely smashed it with 1,000. So what we've done is we've organised a second unboxing video for you today, and today we are doing a full unbox and a 3-month review on the James Cameron Deepsea. So obviously this is the Rolex Sea Dweller, largest 44 model, 44 millimeter model. So here it is. As you can see, this is the standard out of box. I don't know if you've seen my previous videos, but the actual James Cameron actually comes with the larger Rolex box. This is a bit bigger than the 41 mil non-date sub we did in our previous video. Go check it out. It's on the channel. So here we are. This is as I got it from the authorized dealer. So like I said, we've got the standard box, but obviously this is the larger model. So let's take the outer sleeve off. And there we have it, the Rolex box with the embossed Rolex on the top. Easiest way to see it, like that. And there we are. Always got this little bit of foam, which is quite cool, but I always like to keep that. I don't like to get that out of the way. Standard Rolex box, larger than the other models. I think there's a few models which come with a larger box. I'm not sure why it has the larger box. Maybe it's just for the larger models. But nevertheless, it's always nice to have a mix up, and it's nice to see. So yeah, so let's open up and take a look. 44 mil Rolex Deepsea Sea Dweller D Blue James Cameron 126660. So, usual place for your paperwork is up here. Let's have a look at that. We've got the Rolex Perpetual Sea Dweller Rolex Deepsea. Nice booklet. Actually, I think it's the same booklet as the 43 mil Sea Dweller. Just the general principles of the watch, and a bit of history about, you know, how they made it, care, the glide lock, which I'll go through as well, the clasp, how the glide lock works, about the bezel, you know, crown, how to set the time, etc, etc. Just general information. You know, have kind of a, you know, they're all kind of roughly the same. Have a once a flick through. I'll put that back. As you normally, you've got the worldwide service guarantee manual. In here is kind of, you know, all multi-languages, guarantees and whatever not. To be honest, never really read that one. Let's put that back. Can be a bit fiddly. We've got the older style warranty card here. I'm going to cover up the serial number. The older style warranty card. This is purchased actually a few years ago. Cool. Let's just slide that back and get that in there and back. So it's the, you know, it's generally the same as all Rolexes come, with their new style box. Like I said, this one has actually got the larger box. 5-year warranty. The green hand tag from Rolex, and also the unique hand tag for the watch. Underneath has the RRP, and the price label of the watch, and also the serial number as well. This one here, which you can't get replaced. I've also got down here, I've got the this is the extra link which actually comes with the watch, but I like to tend to take it off. It's actually for the glide lock, system, but don't really need it, so I always remove it. So here you are. Let's see what best lighting situation is. Very hard to get this dial on the camera right, because the glass is so thick. Let me see if I can just remove the light here and get it better. The glass is so thick, it's really hard to get a massive reflection off it. Put it back. So let's start with taking it out the holder, and we'll get rid of the box as well. That's what I've done with that. Let's get rid of that. So let's just get rid of the hang tags as well, so they don't get in the way. Always good to, you know, if you ever buy any kind of Rolex or luxury watch, always to keep the box and the papers, just for, you know, if you ever need to sell it. It's very hassle free. That's the warranty hang tag off. I'll just take this one off as well. Bit fiddly, but so I've had this watch for a few years, and I've actually worn it daily for 3 months. So what I'm going to do is we'll just go through the general you know, the features of this watch. I'm just going to zoom in as well. Let's see how we go. So here we are. We have the Oyster Steel Rolex 44mm. It's got the monoblock middle case, screw down case back, and winding crown. The ring lock system architecture with a helium escape valve. Obviously, it's a full stainless steel model, Oyster Steel. The bezel here is also the unidirectional 60-minute graduated scratch resistant ceramic bezel. Obviously the crystal here is actually the glass. The glass itself is 5.5mm thick. Obviously for the depth, and as we can see, I don't know if you can see here, it's 12,000 foot, which is obviously crazy deep. 12,800 foot. And 3,900 total meters, with obviously the helium. In terms of caliber, it holds the 3235 caliber, plus or minus 2 seconds a day. Obviously, you've got the basic minutes, seconds, and hours, and also the date there as well. But no Cyclops lens on this. It's a straight crystal glass. You know, the submarines have the Cyclops lens, but on the Sea Dwellers it doesn't. So obviously, yeah, it's self-winding, power reserve 70 hours. Bracelet here is the Oyster flat 3-piece links, as you can see, folding clasp. But what the Deepsea holds that no other model holds is it's got the glide lock, and as you see, you can just pop. So basically, you can extend the bracelet without having taken the bracelet off. So I'm just going to show you an example here. I've just got to actually push it in. Like I said, I take that piece off, which actually sits in there normally. So for example, it's a clasp off, and you can just lift up the glide lock system, and you can just extend it just like that, off and back on. Great, you know, if you're actually using it as a sports watch or a tool watch. Fantastic. So obviously they made it lighter as well. They actually put a titanium case back, and to be honest, you know, I don't actually know how much of a difference that would have made. Whether, you know, if that was steel, you'd feel it much more. Hard to say without really knowing. Obviously Rolex did it for a reason, and you know, a bit of titanium in there never goes wrong either. But you know, the main thing about this watch is obviously the dial, the history of the dial. James Cameron did the depth to the deepest part of the ocean in the trenches, and for me, I really like the green. The green obviously relates to the colour of the submarine that he used. Obviously, it was bright green, and that green I'm pretty sure is the same. And you can see around the outside of the dial, obviously you've got a ring lock system. Original escape valve, which is pretty cool. Never really on you know, different other watches. Obviously the size of this watch is very chunky, but you know, I've worn this actually daily for 3 months, and to be honest, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's really too big. Yeah, I see where they're coming from, but you know, I've got a fairly big wrist, and it does, personally, it does sit well. So let's just get it on. Also got a few stickers on there still. Kind of, if they get left on, I kind of leave them. Glove stuck. Let's see. Fantastic piece. Really, really nice. Quite rare. Always demand for these. You never ever see these on the shelf at a dealer. Well, I've personally never seen one on the shelf. You know, fantastic watch. Really an eye catcher if you know what you're looking for. My 3-month review. Yeah, you can wear this every day. I don't see why you wouldn't. What I have noticed though is, what I do want to bring to your attention is that actually the only thing I have is, either, you know, on warmer days and colder days, sometimes it just becomes a bit loose. Not that the watch is, you know, I think maybe my wrist shrinks a little bit, you know, sometimes gets a bit bigger just naturally, and because obviously the main body of the watch is so chunky, sometimes it can run away. So let's see if I can show an example. It's alright at the moment, to be fair. Like that's nice, but sometimes it just gets a bit, you know, it can get like a bit off the, you know, the location of where you'd like it. Maybe on warmer days or colder days, and sometimes, yeah, you can just lose it a little bit, and it kind of just goes like off. But because obviously it's so big. But definitely a keen piece for any collector who's got, you know, who's got the wrists on a larger size. But fantastic watch. And to be honest, yeah, like I said, you can wear it every day. It's not a problem. Always a piece in a collector's, you know, if they've got one of these. And like I said in my previous videos as well, it's nice to see, you know, Rolex ambassadors wear these. You know, you see Mark Webber and Nico Rosberg when they're like punting for Sky Sports. You know, you glimpse it and you can see it. But yeah, it's really nice. Obviously, not for everyone's, you know, not for everyone's wrist due to the size. If you've got a smaller wrist and kind of your sub is almost like on the larger side already, then obviously this is not going to work for you. But if you've got a bit of a larger wrist and you like a bit of a meaty watch, this is definitely a great piece. Well, thanks for watching. Please give it a like, give it a subscribe, get in the comments. If you ever have one of these models or thinking about it, you got any questions, any queries, then please do drop in the comments. And I always like to hear your stories.